Baseball's Hall of Fame is more than a museum. It's a resting place for the game's legends. Each year, generations of fans will continue to make the pilgrimage to this shrine and get closer to those players who are considered the very best. The voting process has its guidelines as to who should be considered for induction. Two main rules for consideration are 1. That players must have played for 10 years, and 2. Be retired for 5 before appearing on a ballot. The short list of exceptions regarding these stipulations includes Lou Gehrig and Roberto Clemente. One player who did not meet the 10-year playing requirement yet gained entry is Addie. The right-hand pitcher led the American League in shutouts during his rookie campaign, the second season ever for the franchise we know now as the Indians. He played under 3 different managers from 1902 through 1910, those clubs nicknamed the Bronchos and Naps. The best any of those teams finished was second place in 1908. He played alongside Hall of Famers like Nap Lajoie, Elmer Flick, and Cy Young. An unorthodox corkscrew windup contorted his body 180 degrees before sending each pitch to unprepared batters. Adding to his unique form was his follow-through, an upright position that allowed him to quickly field any ball hit his way. Addie was just 20 when he started the Toledo Mud Hens opening day game in 1900. His major league debut wasn't too shabby either, a one-hit performance on the way to a 17-win season. During the first half of his career, Joss would write articles for the Toledo News-Bee sports column, which gained him an even greater audience and fan base. He was the 4th pitcher ever to toss a perfect game, needing just 90 minutes and 74 pitches to best the White Sox towards the end of the 1908 season in Cleveland. About 18 months later, he no-hit the Chi Sox again, this time in Chicago. Addie successfully marketed a new invention he had been designing to the ball club. The Joss indicator, which allowed fans to keep track of balls and strikes during a contest, was the genesis of the electronic scoreboard. A torn ligament and bouts of fatigue kept him out of the lineup for much of what would be his final playing season, his last outing occurring in July of 1910. From the end of the season through the spring of the following, Addie suffered from a series of blackouts. He collapsed on the field prior to an exhibition game in the spring, which prompted an immediate visit to his physician. The diagnosis was pleurisy, an inflammation of the lungs. He died just 2 days after his 31st birthday on April 14, 1911, less than 8 months after his final appearance on the diamond. The official cause was determined to be tubercular meningitis, a disease he had been secretly living with. The bacteria that had been living in his lungs had spread to his brain, which caused the short fainting spells. Many greats attended his funeral in Toledo and would later compete in a benefit game to assist his widow's financial burden. Stars included Cy Young, Ty Cobb, Tris Speaker, and Walter Johnson. Joss put together some amazing numbers in his 9-year career, all with Cleveland, including a 160-97 record and a 1.89 ERA with over 2,300 innings pitched. Of the 260 games he started, he completed 234 of them. He won at least 20 games 4 consecutive years, led the league in ERA twice, and never allowed more than 4 home runs in any campaign. For you modern stat heads out there, when it comes to WHIP, which is walks and hits per innings pitched, he is still the major's all-time career leader. Addie was voted into the Hall of Fame in 1978 by the Veterans Committee, a class that included Eddie Matthews and Larry McPhail. His numbers and gifts to the game spoke for themselves. Though he had a short career by some standards, the Hall feels complete now that he's a member.